Okay, so it's a beautiful night out, so I'm just gonna go for a little drive and make this video real quick. So, uh, the Giants lose 26-16, and I mean, I hate to fucking bang on my own chest, but I fucking called this damn shit. Um, which doesn't really make me happy because it's getting to the point where this team is starting to get like ridiculously predictable, you know. So the Giants came out of the gate what somewhat aggressive, You know, their offense does look different. You know, it looks more spread out. You know what I mean? It looks different, but we can't get the running game going. And I think a lot of that has to do with the Giants simply not taking care of key positions. You know, the center position, I said this multiple times, the center position is one of the most important positions on offense. And for some weird reason, the Giants like to just plug and play random ass offensive linemen at center. They did it with John Halapio the last 2 years. Okay, they've done it with Spencer Pulley, and now they're doing it with Nick Gates. Nick Gates, honestly, I think I'd rather have John Halapio. Nick Gates looked absolutely miserable today. He looked awful. Saquon Barkley rushed for 6 yards. He had 15 carries for 6 yards. Will Hernandez, our left guard, I'm starting to think this dude's starting to be a bust as well. He doesn't look good. I always thought he was a little bit undersized anyway for a guard. I always thought he would be a good center. But he didn't play well. Cameron Fleming at right tackle, this was predictable as hell because Cameron Fleming is trash, but he didn't play well, you know. Andrew Thomas actually didn't play as bad as I thought he would, so I was wrong on that. But this pass rush of the Pittsburgh Steelers, they teed off on those two tackles because, I mean, what you got a rookie left tackle making his start. You have a terrible right tackle, and you have a second-year quarterback who is in his first year in a new system. I mean, this was a walk in the park for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. A walk in the park, and I think it's going to get better. I think it's going to slowly get better. You know, I think this offense is gonna be kind of like what Tennessee was last year. Started off really slow, made the necessary changes, and the next thing you know, they sneak their way into the playoffs. Do I think we're going to be good enough to sneak our way into the playoffs? I'm not sure, but I think we actually can manage to pick up towards the end. I think I saw enough today to feel that we can pick up towards the end of the the season. But it's going to be a struggle. Now I have to admit, our defense does look a little bit better, and that ain't saying much. That ain't saying a damn thing, actually, because our defense was terrible last year. Actually, it's been terrible for years. But it does look a little bit better than it did last year. We are actually, I feel like the Giants defense is a little bit more physical. We couldn't stop any crossing runs today. I'm actually surprised we managed to get to Roethlisberger a few times, considering how far back he drops back. You know, with him having a strong arm, it could be a hard time trying to get to him. You know, that's why it's so important to play coverage when you play the Pittsburgh Steelers. But we couldn't stop crossing routes. I'm actually a little bit surprised that we couldn't stop the run. I thought we would be able to at least do that, but we didn't do that on defense. Benny Snells ran over our defense, and it's embarrassing, really. I mean, you got these little freaking, you know, these defensive players on our defense and offensive players. You got them sitting over here. They get a little sack here, or a batted down pass here, or they caught a pass and they over here dancing and shucking and jiving and shit. Meanwhile, I mean, what, 23 unanswered damn points and shit? It's like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous. I feel like we basically got, right now, I feel like we have an aggressive version of last year's football team. And that's not good, because last year's football team was just bad. So, but yeah, Giants lose. I believe we have the Bears this Sunday, and that's going to be in Chicago. Not that I'm not even going to say that shit anymore. Oh, it's in Chicago, because none of these motherfuckers have fans. So they might as well just, every damn game is practically a home game, to be honest with you. But, we got Chicago this upcoming weekend. That's going to be an interesting game, because the Bears are so inconsistent on offense, and their defense is weird. They have guys on defense, but for some reason they still allow more points than they really should. The Bears are a very interesting football team, but knowing us, I think we'll still find a way to lose that damn game. I think it's the Bears we play. I just want to make sure, but anyway, yeah, Giants lose 26-16. I mean, these games are really starting to get fucking predictable, dude. I mean, that's what happens when you keep a general manager that you really should have fired about a year or two ago.